How is everybody doing tonight? No, I'm not going through the presentation tonight. I'm teaching people how to become better presenters. So that was actually kind of fun, a whole hour of music and a little bit of a couple blurbs and information on some of the artists and the songs. So I got to start doing that more. It was kind of fun. It brings back my old days of being a DJ. I actually DJ'd for about 1 year back in high school. Gosh, it's been a long time, but I collected almost 900 CDs from the 80s and early 90s, and I absolutely love music. So there's always a good story behind so many of the songs and stuff like that. So it's really cool. So that was kind of fun, and I might start doing that more, and I'll just mix it up a little bit, different genres and things of that sort as I go through it. But and then what I'm going to do is play some obscure songs from bands that you know, but you may not have heard those songs. So like I did New Babies, New Toys with OMD. Most people remember them for their 80s hits, and they don't even realize they're still around. But anyway, let's get to this. Presenting. So I'm going to kind of go through the slideshow as I do the presentation. And the reason I'm doing it this way is when this presentation was created, it was created a certain way for a reason. So anytime you're presenting anything, the number one rule of presenting, first of all, is know your content, right? Know what the flip you're talking about. Know everything you can and become an expert in whatever it is you are presenting. So not just become an expert in our network. That's not what that means. Become an expert on the industry. Think about how many presentations have I made over the last several months, and I will bring up e-commerce. I will bring up network marketing. I will bring up other aspects of this industry that we're in. I will bring up stats. I will bring up stories. I will bring up different things because I have become an expert in the industry. People will see you as more credible if you become an expert. So I'm not just referring to our network and what we offer. I am referring to retail, any aspect of what our network offers. The more you know about the ancillary products and services and those markets and those different things, the better you will become as a presenter, because you can share little gems, you can share little things in your presentations, just little blurbs. Don't go crazy with it, but share little things about it, because it makes the presentation a heck of a lot more interesting. It makes it so. And also, rule number 2 in a presentation: don't read it. Don't read the, oh please, I hate it when people read presentations. Now, sometimes I'll read a couple words here and there, but I will actually purposely change the words. I don't know if you've noticed that. A revolutionary financial movement. And then I'll read that part, and then shifting power from big business to the individual, to the power of our network. We leverage, we have exclusive savings, we drive greater income to all people who would like to participate. I don't ever read verbatim, ever. It's written here so they can read it. People can see what's on the presentation if they're engaged and they read it. What you want to do is kind of give your, if you read it, it sounds memorized, it's kind of boring to the listener, first of all, and you can't share as much emotion when you read because you're reading. You never want to read the slides. That's one thing that is a pet peeve of mine, and that's something I've taught for many years. Don't read it. Allow the listener or the person following to read the slide. It's a big deal, I promise you. And again, you can't present with passion when you're reading. It's really difficult to do, and it sounds memorized. It's just ugh. So don't read it. So that's another thing. But why do we start out with our vision when we do these presentations? Simple. You want to give a short background of what the company believes, because what you're doing is you're trying to reach out to the listeners and you're trying to connect a little bit. It's cool. A revolutionary financial movement that is shifting the power and profits. That's pretty cool. That's a really cool statement. That's a cool vision. And it tells just a little bit about the company without telling too much about the company. And then the owners, notice here where you don't have a big long resume or bio for each owner, you just touch on each owner. Just touch on Richard, what he brings, what Troy brings, what Trent brings, Kevin, Roger. Touch on their bio a little bit. Don't read through it thoroughly. Now, you have seen me do presentations where I've touched on Trent. I've shared a little more information about Trent, but it depends what type of presentation I'm doing. It depends what the focus is in that presentation. I'm always changing it. I'm always shifting, because if I'm presenting, for example, the difference between our network and other industries and things of that sort, I might share a little bit more about Trent because of his background in fintech and in things of that sort that he's done, and I'm relating it to that presentation. But when I present, for example, right after this presentation, I've got to do the corporate presentation tonight, I'm just going to touch on each individual. And what I like to do sometimes is I like to save the best for last, which would be in this case Trent with his background. I'm not saying that I'm not discounting any of the other guys, because they've all actually had very amazing resumes. And just touch on it. Richard Smith, what is he known for? His compensation plans, how great they've been, how gratuitous they are to the big guy and to the little guy. Many companies have followed and copied his compensation plans. Troy Muhlstein, Chief Operation Officer, has had decades of experience in manufacturing, things of that sort, and he brings a different outlook to the company, not just an MLM background. Really cool, has had a lot of success, retired early from that, and now he's helping our company with operations, and that's it, and just kind of move on. Kevin Wiscombe, Chief Revenue Officer. Well, it's great that he's a Chief Revenue Officer, because with his background being in finance, as far as having mortgage companies, things of that sort, and a lot of things he's done in that world. Roger Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer, was a marketing officer for NASCAR, a huge company, NASCAR. They don't just hire anybody to be marketing director for NASCAR, but you don't have to get into it a lot. And then to bring it all together, what's amazing about this gentleman? They've all known each other since junior high, except for Trent. Trent's the only one that did not have a relationship with these other men way back in grade school and in junior high. They've known each other for years. They trust each other. They're very good, close friends. And they all bring awesome backgrounds to bring this company to us. And then Trent, we all know his background. I won't get into his bio and things of that sort, but you can say, why is Trent the CEO? He's the only person who didn't know these other four gentlemen. Well, because of his background in fintech and all the different things he did with Google and Facebook. We've talked about all that. But spend maybe 2 to 3 minutes on the slide. That's it. Something like that, because you don't want to get too deep into the backgrounds. Just scratch the surface, the highlights, the bullet points. Move on to the next slide. The guiding principles. Find out where the world is headed and get there first. Make more money than spend. Lose your life in the betterment of others. We're still setting the foundation right here of the business, of the company. Sharing the people behind the company a little bit. Sharing their mission statement. Sharing their guiding principles. So again, we're laying the foundation. That's what the very beginning of this presentation, that's what it's doing. And that's always a good idea. Anytime you present anything, you've got it. It's important to lay that foundation. Now, let me tell you this. This is very important to remember. While laying the foundation, you don't have to blow a lot of smoke. What do I mean by that? Oh, live out your dreams and become the richest person on the planet, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to do that, that's fine. Keep it short, keep it simple, but don't, in my opinion, don't overplay it. That has been overplayed so long. We've heard that message since we were little kids, and I believe it's not as effective as it once was, because everybody else does it. And if you focus too long on that and you're talking about it all the time, people are going to say, oh my gosh, it's same old, same old. I don't want to hear this. It's just another one of those, right? And so always when you're presenting, put yourself in the shoes or the position of the person listening to your presentation, because what do you want to hear? What do you care about? I can tell you right now, 99% of the people, at least in my opinion, they want to hear about, what is this? What do I need to pay? How much can I potentially make? What do I need to do to make money? That they want you to get into the nuts and bolts. So don't focus a lot of time even on this stuff. Just kind of go through it, maybe share a thought or two, move on to the next slide, talk about the evolution of business. Share stories is always a good idea. Relatable, be relatable to people. When you present, be yourself. Don't ever try to be somebody else, and be relatable. It's sharing short, not long, but short stories is also always a good idea. For example, when we talk about the computers, when I was a little kid, the computers came out. I barely knew what a computer was, like the rest of us, right? When we came out, relate to that generation. They came out, we were excited, we're typing, things of that sort. We had Atari back then, we had Genesis, we had different things. And, just throw names out there, things out there that people can relate to because they're waving their head. Oh yeah, it was me too. Before we had DOS, before we had, we had Atari, we had this, we had that. Things of that sort, just little nuggets and tidbits you can kind of throw in there to relate to your audience. The internet, one thing you've heard me say a couple times, and I'm not saying do it exactly like me. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be yourself, but it's okay to throw little nuggets in there. For example, the internet. Remember the internet back in the 90s? Oh my goodness. And when you try to go online, you pick up the phone and you hear that, all that crazy noise and stuff. And if somebody picked the phone off, it cuts you off, things, that's relatable. Because it happened to us, right? That people are like, oh my gosh, yeah, this person gets me. That we're on the same wavelength. Always a good idea to do stuff like that. So it's not just sticking with the presentation. It's okay to go off a little bit as long as it relates to what's in front of them, what's on the slides. But when you're presenting, it's always cool to throw those little things in there. And guess what else that does? It humanizes you. It makes you human. That's what I love about it. Again, being relatable. Social media came around. We can talk to our friends. We can talk to our old high school buddies, things of that sort. And, we learn everything about everybody every day, even though sometimes we learn too much about people on social media because some people like to share a lot, things of that sort. It's okay to say stuff like that, but then plug it in to the presentation itself. Why are we talking about social media? Because social media is what really kind of started the marketplaces. Because these companies from social media sold our information to the large places like Amazon and other retailers. So they knew our spending habits. They knew our ages. They knew what we like. They know what we don't like. They know how to market to us. So you kind of relate it all together. The internet is what started social media. Computer before the internet. And now that the world's going to a marketplace, we are the next generation participation marketplace. We're going to take it the next step. And then it goes right into the next slide. How do we take it to the next step? Easy. We take what Amazon did. We take what eBay did. And we kind of mix the two worlds together. Remember, this is a hybrid, what we're doing. And we're just saying, hey, the world loves marketplaces. We are a marketplace. We're a participation marketplace. What does that mean? Simple. Every time somebody participates, just like Ebates, we get paid. We just get paid more than what Ebates pays out. Our network does both. That's why when you see how these slides are written, how they're created, that they mesh together that way. And then you go into, the different industries, things of that sort. And even on this slide, I wouldn't spend a lot of time on it. To say we are able to lock arms and share profits with major industries such as travel alone. And then you can make points here. There's companies that offer only travel that have brought in millions of people with travel alone. There's companies that have just, smartphones. How many people have a smartphone? You can ask questions like that. How many people drive a car? How many people pay a mortgage? How many people pick up prescriptions and medications? How many people bank? Would you like, throw a question at them. Would you like to share profits with these industries? How amazing would that be? Because I don't like to always stop. If I ask a question and it's a yes or no question, I always like to follow up with the question and make them, how amazing would that be? Make them think a little bit, not just open-ended, things of that sort. So I'm just, again, these are just different things I've picked up over the years. And some of you, and I'll start a discussion after that. We'll talk back and forth after I go through a few more of these slides. But again, with each of these slides, always, again, focus on the message, know your message inside and out, but it's okay to go off slide a little bit, off script. In fact, I recommend it, but don't go so off script that you're completely not relating to the slide in front of them. Don't go too far off base, right? And now imagine if you can participate as a charter member with our network, sharing revenue, just like we said. You can say, sometimes you're gonna hear other presenters in this repeat the same things 3 or 4 times. Why do we do that? We actually do that on purpose. It's by design because people only remember 30% of what they hear on these. So the bullet points, we want to repeat them throughout the slides 3 or 4 times each. That's why we do that. Because what are they going to remember? Well, okay, that was said a couple times. It must be pretty important, things of that sort. You don't have to sell anything. Get paid for connecting people to the marketplace. Get paid. How amazing would it be if you got paid if you referred somebody to Costco? Remember, sometimes you hear that question because they can relate to that. A lot of people go to Costco. How cool would it be if you got paid for referring people to a movie or to any place offering a discount today or tomorrow or whenever, whatever? Those questions are great because it makes people think a little bit and it keeps them engaged in the presentation. This is why I hate just reading. If you're going to read, I mean, this is okay to read a little bit because it's short. It's not a lot of content. But again, put in your little 2 pieces. Ask your questions as you're doing these presentations. Because once again, you want to keep them engaged in the presentation and you want them thinking a little bit. You want them thinking. And then also welcome to rNetwork. We gave you a little bit of background. We shared our vision. We gave you a little bit of background on the owners, our strategy a little bit, and what makes us unique. We're the next generation participation marketplace. This is why we believe we will be successful, because we're taking these 2 really big, marketplaces such as eBay and Amazon, and we're meshing that business plan. We're putting it together to offer you this, and then we focused on all of those different industries. And it's even okay to say something. Our overall goal as a company is to allow you to save money on every aspect of your spending life. How amazing would that be? I would, if I made a comment like that, I would always follow up. How amazing would that be if you could save money on every aspect of your spending, and you can also make money by referring people to save money on every aspect of their spending life? Those are great questions, stuff like that. And once again, it will keep them engaged in the presentation itself. So why are people participating? We're positioned to literally, see, I'm not reading that. I didn't say uniquely, I said we are positioned to literally, I added the word, disrupt the advertising marketplaces. I wouldn't even read for products and services. I'm only taking a few words from that. I'm not going to read that verbatim. Again, I never read verbatim unless it's a very, very, very small thing. And then that way I can, add questions, things of that sort. So, and I'm just saying this, again, everybody's got their own style, and we obviously want you to use your own style because you need to be your own person when you're presenting. But this is the kind of stuff that when you do a lot of presentations, you kind of think about, and then eventually the more presentations you do, and many of you on this call might be phenomenal presenters. So I don't know, but I bet some of you are probably pretty amazing. So sign up as a rNetwork fan, enjoy many of our products, 100% free. Why is it amazing to be a fan? Simple. You can come in here, you can test drive this. And you as a charter member, once you decide to become a charter member, you can have fans come in here and test drive this. Just go save money. Go make sure that it works. How amazing would it be able to use a product before you buy a product? That's really cool. You think your fans would appreciate that as a charter member? Of course they would. That helps with sustainability. It helps with retention. It helps with things of that sort. You can throw stuff like that in there because it's true. And that would definitely help with that and help them. One thing I do in presentations, and I'm sure some of you have noticed, I will drill down a little bit, but I won't go crazy with it. I share a few more details, I think, than many presenters, and I do that on purpose because I want to give them enough. Because one thing, as you present more and more, you will learn how to anticipate. And what do I mean by that? Well, anticipate what you believe that your listeners are thinking, questions that they may have. Answer some of those questions in the presentation. Some of them, not all of them. In each presentation, you can mix it up a little bit. That's why sometimes I drill down a little bit, but don't drill down to the point where it goes another hour or so. I've noticed when I present or Dave presents or John or Ed or these other guys, we're usually about 5-10 minutes from within each other's range, which is cool. I like that because we're either 20 minutes, 25 minutes, or 30 minutes. Most of us don't go over 30 unless, we have a pre-video, whatever, plays a couple minutes into 30 minutes, whatever it may be. But most of us stay about 5-10 minutes within range of our presentations, which is awesome. So, and a lot of us have been presenting for years and years. So that's a cool thing. And it just means that we're kind of, zeroing in on our presentations and things of that sort. And every time I present, I tweak it just a little bit. I try not to do the same exact presentation, even though the words are the same, the slides are the same a lot of times. I try to, different times I'll go in there and sometimes I'll share a little personal information, or sometimes I won't share any personal information. Sometimes I tell different stories. I do different things. And that's to kind of see how people react to it. And also, I believe it helps me grow as a presenter because I can go in with several different methods, strategies, angles, whatever you want to call them. And I'm always practicing different things. Always. No matter how good you become as a presenter, you can always be better. We can all be better. So, and staying humble and hungry and challenge yourself as a presenter. Help yourself understand that, hey, you know what? And go back and listen. I actually listen to a lot of the presentations I do. I listen to it. I listen to see how many times I said if I paused, if I forgot a word or two. I will listen and I will critique myself and then try to be better on the next presentation. I do that a lot. And my kids will tease me, why are you listening to yourself? Do you just like hearing yourself speak? No, I'm critiquing myself in my presentation to make sure it was clean, it was precise, it was a good message, whatever the case may be. And I'm always grading myself on presenting as I go through. And so because of that, I allow myself to grow as a presenter. That old saying, you are your own worst critic. Well, I am my own worst critic. I critique myself all of the time. So membership, one-time fee of $25, and show passion. One-time fee of only $25. Only $25, not $25. There's a big difference of saying only versus just saying the dollar amount. Only $50 a month. That one word, words matter. Only $50 a month. Now, it doesn't say that on the slide, and that's okay. Again, you don't want to read the slide verbatim. Only $50 a month for a full suite of products and services, going back to the medications, the pet meds, I'm reading the phones, the perks, the travel, the banking, the mobile, auto, mortgage, concierge services, all of these things that you get for only $50 a month. Sounds a lot better than saying subscription of $50 a month, full suite of rNetwork products and services, success launch formula, training system. If I'm just sitting there reading it, no, I've lost them. Because you want to help them see how far they're stretching those $50. This is amazing. And on a slide like this, I would even say, imagine for only $50 a month what you are offering to customers. Put yourself in the shoes of a customer. If you're giving the customer an amazing value, you are helping build a sustainable business, or it's helping you build a sustainable business, because it's all about the customer. That is a great place to throw that into a slide like this, because many of them They haven't signed up yet. So guess what they are? They are potential customers and then potential charter members over and above that. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. You're walking them through a process. They're not charter members yet, or maybe they're brand new charter members and they're listening to the way you present. Because another thing you want people to do is feel confident to send their prospects to your presentations. That's a big, big deal. So that all of that kind of stuff, and again, as you do more and more presentations, you will become a lot better at them, just like anything else, right? Practice makes permanent. Practice does not make perfect. Remember that. Practice makes permanent. What do I mean by that? Simple. The way you practice is the way you will present. The way you practice playing an instrument or playing a sport, that's the way you're going to play that instrument or a sport, and it may not be perfect, but it will be permanent. Practice makes permanent. That's something I learned that years ago. I love that saying back when I was in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I spent a week for 8 hours a day. We went through a big sales training course, and the first day, within the first 30 minutes, the lady, awesome, funny as heck lady, went up there and she said, practice makes permanent. And it stuck with me. It became permanent. So there you go. So it must be permanent. So that kind of stuff. And again, now we're going back to the R autos, R mobile, and stuff like that. Why does this slide? People have asked, why do you have this slide in there twice? Corporate put it in there twice. Why? Because, again, people only remember 30% of what they hear. And so these are bullet points. These are highlights. And again, you can go back and say, remember when I said only $50? Now let's go back to this. $50. Discounted banking, discounted this, discounted that, discount, 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 discount. And how much are you paying again? $50. Are you kidding me? Boom. This is a chance for you to just, bam, an aha moment. Kind of just push it in there right there. So a lot of different things that you can do when you're presenting. A lot of different opportunities. I actually added this slide. So far, it's been okay. Corporate, that's great. Hybrid affiliate program. Why did I do this? And it's all, think about it. It's all in one place. It's all in one slide. This is what I talk about being a little more detailed and drilling down, because people make assumptions. This is putting yourself in their mind right now, in their head. That's what this slide was designed to do. Because they're assuming, oh, it's one of these. Nope, it's one of those. Nope, it's one of these. They're wrong. Because most people think it's just a traditional MLM. Most people think it's just a traditional affiliate program. You've got to clear their mind a little bit. Answer some of those questions that they're thinking in their heads that may make them stuck and not sign up. So that's what this slide was put in here to do. That's why I did it. Typical affiliate program, market products, services for a one-time fee. Possibly, maybe, potentially get paid on a residual basis, but it's typically pretty low if it's residual, and it's not on a lot of people, because you might get paid on 1 to 3 other people, maybe 1 or 2 tiers, but typically they don't pay on a lot. So what did we do with our model? We took the best of affiliate programs, meaning you can still have the thousands of products and things of that sort. You can market those products and services. They're not overpriced like you typically see in a network marketing company. This is where I'm making the separation between typical MLM and typical affiliate programs. And that's why I study the stats as closely as I do. In a typical network marketing company, this is why it makes us unique and different. We are not offering overpriced products and services that make it harder for you. Now I'm relating to them because we've all felt this pain, for you to build a business. We're making it easier for you instead of harder. Our job is to make that road, that path easier by allowing you to lock arms and share revenue with large companies, and not just only be paid on what you do, but entering in the best of the network marketing world, be paid on numerous people, and allow your customers to receive discounted services, because now you're adding more value to your product offering, which will help attract more customers to you. You won't have to have product wars. You won't need to beg. See what I'm doing here? All of this in one slide. Think about what I'm doing. I am separating us from the rest of the pack, and I'm relating to their pain. The best salespeople, the best presenters on the planet can relate to people's pain and offer them a real solution. If you can get to their pain and offer them a real solution, your closing rate will skyrocket. It will get so much higher because this is what they're thinking. They're thinking another one of those. All of this in one slide. You have the ability to make that separation and to touch their pain and give them a solution all in one slide. That's why I added this slide in here. I hope this makes sense. And let me go ahead and make sure, let's see. Yes, I'm doing a recording on this. Absolutely, I'm recording this and sharing this with everybody. So how do I make money with rNetwork? Now I'm going to put a different slide in here because I have a slide where you see it when we talk about stacking commissions and you can just click, click, click and you watch the numbers move. I'm going to add that slide in there because I just personally like that slide better. But same thing. Power 3 bonus. Now, again, I'm still kind of making the separation. Listen very carefully to what I say next. Typically in a network marketing, you go out and get 3 people and they get a few people, they get a few people, you get a one-time fast start bonus and you're excited, yay, I'm happy. But, and this is a big but, with us, you receive a lifetime monthly bonus. Why? Because over 70% of your people will stay at the make at least $1 per month. In this scenario, they'll make $6 a month. Now, remember this, though. Why do they leave? They're losing money. Let's go back to the savings. What if they save more than? Then you share your testimonial. I saved $278 in my first week. Now why? Now think about why it's so important for you to become a product of the product. You need your own testimonial. You want to share your savings because then you are more credible. You're more believable. People want to hear, okay, this guy, he really knows what he's talking about. He knows the stats. He knows the numbers. He's touching my pain. He's saving money. Well, I can save money too. See all this? So this is as I do presentations, I always think about this stuff all the time. All the time. And I push myself to get better and better and better. But make that separation. We love lifetime bonuses because sure, you might be paid a couple $100 as a fast start bonus, but going back to their pain, but what happens in month 2 when you don't have your fast start bonus and you've got your $200 a month auto ship? What happens in month 3 and month 4? Did you know the average person drops out of these plans typically in 87 days? That's the average. How do I know that? I researched it. That's how I know that. I do a lot of research. People think I just listen to music all day and things of that sort because I like to play songs before my calls. No, I do a ton of research. I always want to know what the competition is doing, but I also do it because I want to know what the pain is so I can relate to it over and over and again for people. That's why I do it. Wouldn't it be so much, I'm not asking a yes or no question, wouldn't it be so much better that in month 2, you and your team can receive more than you spend? Is it better to have a lifetime, is it one-time fast start bonus, or is it better to be paid every month more than you spend every month? What's better? That's not a yes or no question. That, again, make them think about it. What's better? Of course, every month. I can tell you right now, and here's, if you have stores like this, you can tell a story. If I owned a gym, and I can say, you know what, you can pay your annual membership, it's $300, or pay me $20 a month. What would I rather take in as a gym? I'd rather take $20 a month. Why? Because your cash flow in your business. It's easy to spend that $300, but I'd rather take $20, $25 a month. Even if it's a little bit less money because I cash flow. You can tell people that, look, if you're making more than you spend every month, you're not worried about losing money. Neither is your team. They can cash flow their business immediately. That's a really good thing. That's why places like gyms and clinics and things of that sort, they like for you to pay monthly as opposed to quarterly or annually. We do the same thing. Makes sense? See what I did there? Then you can relate it to think, oh yeah, I pay a monthly gym membership. Oh yeah, I pay, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. There's so many things you can, little nuggets and things you can throw in there when you're doing these presentations, but that's why it's important to understand business in general and things of that sort and know what you're talking about. But in all honesty, that is why they do that actually, as they would much rather you pay them monthly because the cash flow easier. That's why nobody wants you to pay annually. They would much rather you pay monthly. I'm telling you that right now. I've had clinics and stuff. I know exactly the strategy behind that see, I'm forgetting my words. See, this is where I go back and say, John, you forgot a word, and you pause for a second. That's why I listen to myself. So, but the psychology behind charging monthly as opposed to annually. There's a lot of studies and stuff that they do. And now, hey, what if, again, don't ask a yes or no question. What if you could profit in 7 days? Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, you can now. Go get 3 people in 7 days. You're now in the profit. And what are these 3 people doing? What are you asking them? Are you selling them anything? Going back to the selling. Are you selling them anything? No. You're offering them to save more than they spend. Now, does that sound easier than selling? Does that sound better than a product more? You're offering them more than you're offering them to save more than they spend. You're giving them a good deal. That's where you throw little tidbits and little nuggets in these presentations, just like that. That's why I do stuff like that. Moving on to the next slide. Bonus structure. I say dynamic compression. I don't spend time explaining what dynamic compression is. Why? Easy. I want them to go back to their sponsor and ask them, what is dynamic compression? And you as a sponsor better be able to answer that question. You should be able to answer that question. Because if you can't, learn it. Learn what dynamic compression is. Plus, it'd be really cool if you learn what it is. You're like, wow, this is a killer comp plan because of dynamic compression. It's a big deal in this industry. It's a buzzword in this industry. But just mention it. Don't go deep in it. You always want to give them some information, but not everything. But you do want to drill down a little bit. Okay, so whether you enroll them or not, you get paid on everybody. Going back to the pain, have you ever had a comp plan where you only get paid on some of your people? I believe we all have. That's a great place to say it. But in this compensation plan, you get paid on every single member in your matrix, on all of them, and you unlock all 10 levels with only 3 people versus unlocking 10 levels with 10 people. So if you've had a matrix where it's been tougher before, worry not, because you unlock all of the levels of compensation with only, back to that word, only 3 people. See that? So just different things to think about when you go in there. And again, I'm not reading it because now it can be more animated. I can be a lot more passionate about it, which means they're going to listen to me more closely. Because there's feelings and when you speak up and down, voice reflections, all that matters. All that matters. Don't sound monotone. Try very hard not to sound monotone, because people will go to sleep on you. If you hear people snoring in your presentation, that's not a good thing. It's a very bad thing. So short personal stories, a couple jokes here and there are even okay sometimes. Every once in a while I'll sprinkle one in, but it depends. Depends on the presentation and things of that sort. So, but a lot of different things that you can put in the presentation. Again, stay on point as much as you can though. Stacking commissions, we know what that means. And again, I'm going to insert another slide in this. I might have time tonight after this call, maybe, because my next call starts literally in 18 minutes. So, but the next slide in there as well. And the click where you go down, but explain what did I say in the previous slide? You get paid on every single member in your network, in your matrix. Now you also stack commissions on every single, so I'm restating that because that was a big deal. Now imagine stacking commissions on every single member. That's the kind of stuff you want to do. You want to remind them. That was a really good point you made in that last slide. Let's emphasize a little bit more because we're adding on to it. Now, what if one of those members purchased something? They purchased a car. They purchased shoes. Why do I say go from a car to shoes? Why do I do that? You've heard me do it many times. Because it's a big ticket item to a low ticket item. Because most people can afford a pair of shoes, but not everybody can afford a car right now. That's why I go low, high, and I say on this item, that item, medium, high, low, big ticket item, low ticket item. Well, regardless of what they purchase, you can, why do I say can, make a commission? I throw can in there because there are going to be some items like the mortgages that you won't get paid on unless it's in a pool and stuff because that's legal stuff. So always put can, could, may, stuff like always to protect yourself. Words matter. You can earn a commission on that. Now you will earn a commission because every once in a while there may be a product or something like the travel. We don't make commission on the travel. That's just one of the perks. So always say you can make a commission. You may make a commission. You could earn a commission. Things of that sort, right? That's important to make that distinction to protect yourself, the company, and everything else. IPO, initial public offering. This is a very important one. Don't ever try to assume what the value is going to be. We are not stockbrokers. Okay, that's not our job. We're not licensed. IPO, initial public offering. This is where you can talk about April 30th. And if they help 10 people stay active within 11 and 12 months, it's a good idea to put that in there so they don't feel misled. Bank coming very soon where you get paid on swipes. International products like our global shopping portal. You can talk a little bit about them all right there, which is main, and then maybe share your testimonial if you saved money on something recently, or if anybody on your team saved money. Great place to share a testimonial right here. So things of that sort. What makes our network different? You make money. So now this slide, we're actually restating kind of what we've stated before. You're in profit in 7 days. Why? Because that's a bullet point. That's a highlight. Again, we're going to repeat some things 3 or 4 times. That's good because that's what people, they'll remember it better. I mean, don't focus 20 minutes on the slide. We don't sell. Remember when I say we don't sell anything? We share savings. Here's a great example. When's the last time you saw a great movie and you sent one of your friends to see that great movie? Wouldn't it be amazing if they paid you to do that? That's what I'm talking about. By sharing and stacking commissions. You do it anyway every single day. Wouldn't it be nice if you got paid for doing it? Relating to them. That kind of stuff. All this matters, guys. Open in 40 plus countries. Now let's go back to stacking commissions. What if somebody in North America, Latin America, remember, you've heard me say this. What if somebody in Canada buys a pair of shoes and you get paid in the UK, or somebody in the UK buys a couch and you get paid in America? Wouldn't that be amazing? Again, there's that next question. How incredible, how incredible would that be is actually better than wouldn't that be amazing, because that's a yes/no question. Wouldn't that, or how incredible would that be? How amazing would that be? It's a better question. It's not, you don't want the yes or no. You want them to think about it. Right, keep their wheels turning. The importance of timing, we all know about this slide, the importance of timing. I hope this was helpful, everybody. This is, again, when I present, I think about all this kind of stuff. But I mean, a lot of it's natural now because I've been doing it forever and ever and ever and ever. But when you're starting to present and things like that, think of the audience. Think of how they're receiving your message. How would you like to receive the message? Would you like to have some of your questions answered during a presentation? Of course you would. Do you expect to have every question answered? No, but you want people relating to you. You are going to receive it a lot better if they're relating to you, if they're touching your pain and they're giving you solutions for your pain. You're going to receive it a lot better. So will they. So will they. The importance of timing. Right now we're in the formulation stage. Yes, we've launched, but we're still in the formulation stage. We have thousands of members, not millions yet. We're still in formulation. How amazing would it be if you can get in now before critical mass? Oh, and we will hit critical mass. That's a great statement. Why? It's confident. And I'll tell you right now, I firmly believe, just myself off record here, off that we are going to hit critical mass. I really believe that, especially with some of the products we've got coming out. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but amazing stuff happening with this company. We will hit critical mass. But how amazing would it be for you to get in now? And what are you doing again? Remember, you're saving more than you pay. You can be profitable your first week. No lifetime bonus. This is where you can restate a couple of those things. Get in now. The importance of you. Give them that call to action. The importance of timing. And and on top of all that, make a big deal about this. Have we even told you about our training and the 6- and 7-figure earners in our network right now, on our teams right now? How valuable would it be for you to receive this type of training and the support and these team trainings and the corporate trainings from people that have been there and done that? That alone may be worth $50 a month. Again, I'm showing them how far that money stretches. Create value as you go through these presentations. Go on to the next slide here. This is where you end it. Call to action. What do I recommend right now? I recommend you, and you can even do a summary, and I won't get into the summary now because I only have a couple of minutes before the next call starts, but summarize a little bit here. Put it all together, wrap it up with a strong wrap up, a great personal testimonial. From what I've experienced in the past, I've never seen anything like this. Why? Again, gosh, the ability to save, my goodness. As a consumer, the ability to save. And in this day and age, that is so sorely important. And how many people can we attract that way? Young, old, rich, poor, middle class. People love to save money. We're offering them those savings. You know, we don't want to compete against these big guys anymore. We want to share revenue. It is so amazing. I would highly, highly recommend you reach out to the person who sent you to this call and talk. Have that conversation. Ask your questions, have your questions, and come and join us. Always end with the call to action. Come and join us. Hopefully this makes sense. Again, now I've said that a couple times. This is the way you present. This is the way it's done. Because if you can do those things and learn it, and yes, thank you for saying that, Linda. I love Linda to death. This woman, Linda, drove, 13 hours to come to a training? Talk about dedication. My God. You know, shout out to you, Linda, right now. 13 hours or something like that to drive to Laura's house to do a training. And wow, that is dedication right there. So everybody, I would highly recommend, here's my call to action, listening to this training over and over again and perfecting your style and things. And again, it'll never be perfect, but it will always be permanent. Practice makes permanent. And just go over it and over it and over it. And again, repeating it one more time and I'll hang up. So relate to them. Share tidbits. Share a little bit of information, but don't go so off script and don't blow too much smoke up their wazoo. Just don't do it. If you're going to blow smoke, just blow a little bit of smoke. Don't paint too many rainbows. They've painted enough rainbows. Be realistic, be real, be you, and have fun with it. Challenge yourself, because push yourself to get better each day at presenting. Practice in front of a mirror, whatever you need to do. It doesn't matter. Practice in front of your dog, your cat, your kids, your spouse, whatever. It doesn't matter. But the better you become at presenting, and here's one last tidbit. Online, this all ties together. This is why it's so important. And we've said this before. When you learn to focus on one business at a time and one thing at a time outside of your regular job, you're more credible, you're more believable. People will perceive you more as an expert in that because you're not out there promoting 20 different things. That is, I can't even tell you how important that is, because I get so many messages you wouldn't believe. Oh my goodness, I want to follow so-and-so, but gosh, they're promoting 10 companies. I literally received these, and I'll say, well, you know what, if they referred you, you know, they've got a great upline, they're a good person, blah blah. I've had to go back and send people back to them that wanted to go somewhere else because they didn't want to sign with them because they see them promoting 20 different things. I've received those messages. This all ties together. When you self-brand and you separate yourself as a leader and an expert and stuff, when you do that online, you do that on your pages, and you become a presenter, they see you in the presentation, they hear your voice, they see you, and then they also will say, hey, I saw so-and-so do a live. I saw so-and-so on this website or that website. It's credibility. That is so, so important. That's why you see me all the time. I'm always doing lives. I'm always doing different things. You see other leaders doing it. John, Ed, Dave, Jeremy, all of us, Rudy, Laura, Cindy, the list goes on and on and on and on. You see these people doing that because they're separating themselves from the rest of the pack. So when they go to present, guess what? They're more believable. And people it's almost like they build a relationship with you in a sense before they even hear your presentation, which is really cool because that's only going to help you close more people on your presentation. So with that, everybody, I am going to get ready for my next presentation here in 7 minutes. So everybody have a great night. I will go ahead and post this. I hope this was helpful. I purposely went through our corporate presentation this time, a little bit different because I wanted to really focus on how to present our network experience in our network business instead of just giving you the tips. Why not give you the tips along with the actual slides? I thought it'd be more effective. So everybody have a great night. We will talk soon.